Innovation, imagination, wonder. These are just some of the words used to describe Dr. Harvey Passes. Dr. Passes explores interesting people and ideas that will stimulate you. He questions the people who develop, create, and employ novel concepts in business and everyday lives. He especially loves to speak with successful people. How did they do it? How can you do it too? So let's join Dr. Harvey Passes in his quest of wonder and curiosity as we watch Dr. Harvey Passes Presents.
We're back. And we're back enjoying the fruit of the vine. More explicitly, we're back enjoying the juice of the vine, and which turns into wine. And we're having a great show here with a very interesting person. This individual has a very good background in knowledge of wine. He has worked with importers, distributors, retailers. He serves as a consultant to restaurants and other institutions and on wines. I speak with him many times to discuss about the various types of wines that he's tasting and what wines I might be interested in getting for myself. And in having conversations with Ted Clark, first let's say hi again, Ted.
All right.
Good to see you again.
Dr. Passes.
We had a long conversation. We did a great show recently on tracing a grape which is just gotten a lot of interest lately, and that's the Pinot Noir. Mm-hmm. And then I said, we've tasted that grape from around the world. Mm-hmm. But in today's show, we discussed, or are going to discuss, alternative grapes. And that's a very interesting thing, alternative grapes. Grapes that, I got a list here of 8 different wines that Ted Clark put together. And it's interesting, nowhere on this list is there a Chardonnay, is there a Merlot, is there a Pinot Noir, is there a Cabernet Sauvignon, there's none of that, Sauvignon Blanc, there's none of that. This is great. These are grapes that people, when they listen, like Grüne Veltliner, Falangina, Verdejo, Riesling, Bonarda, Aglianico, Monastrell, Malbec. Of all these grapes here, I'll say mostly people will know Malbec.
Right.
Because that's gotten a lot of play. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about alternative grapes. Let's just say you're looking for a wine and you want to try something different, but you're bored already with Chardonnay. You're bored with Merlot and Cabernet and Pinot Noir. We've got new grapes for you to learn about. So get a pencil and paper because you're going to want to take notes. Going to open up a whole new world of wine for you because these wines taste different and they're delicious. So, Professor, let's bring on our first one. We're going to start with our whites. Okay. And in our whites, we're going to have, what is the first white kind, sir?
We're going to have a Grüner Veltliner.
Grüner Veltliner. Okay.
Which is a white grape from Austria. And right near the Pinot Grigio region in Italy. This is a white wine that's similar to Pinot Grigio in style, but it's got a little bit more of an aftertaste and a wonderful, wonderful food pairing ability. Mm-hmm. And people are going nuts for Grüner. Not everybody knows what it is. You probably need to go to a wine store or a restaurant and talk to a sommelier or a wine clerk that knows about it.
Right.
But it's a wonderful, wonderful white wine that's not as expensive as a lot of other things. And it's bang for the buck, great, dry white wine.
Good nose. Oh, very fresh. A hint of lemon. Mm-hmm. Lemon and a hint of lemon with
a little bit of pepper.
We got pepper, but I'm also getting vanilla. Is this oaked?
I don't
or is
believe
this stainless steel?
No, this is stainless steel. It's a 2006, which is brand new on the market. Right. That's another advice for your viewers is that, picking young vintages of wines that are immediately ready to drink, those are the wines that are going to really drink well. At this point, you want to buy an 06 or maybe an 07. Unless it has some barrel age, then maybe an 04 or an 05. But this is
an amazing bottle of wine. Mm-hmm. I would grab this any day of the week over a Pinot Grigio. Any day. Wonderful. It's so fresh. Mm-hmm. Fresh fruit in your mouth. This is great on a hot day sitting around the pool when this is chilled.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Or this is a great luncheon wine to have with some light cold cuts. Mm-hmm. Turkey sandwich that you fancy up with some nice good hard bread. Even you can enjoy this with ham.
It's very versatile. It goes with a lot of things that most people can't pair wines with. But that aside, you know, that's the wine geek side of things. This is just a great dry white to drink all the time.
We'll talk about this. This is great.
It's good stuff, isn't it? Yes.
Very
I went on a
good
trip
stuff.
a few years ago to Austria and took 5 days of drinking Gruner Veltliner and dry Riesling, and it was a wonderful trip because you could really get to learn about the countryside and the culture and Vienna.
That's what it's all
And
about.
that's wonderful.
That's what
And
it's
this is
all about.
This is what they drink over there.
This is like an everyday wine for the average Austrian.
Exactly.
He's having dinner. He says, "Open up the Gruner Veltliner, Mama, quick! I'm hungry. I'm thirsty."
You have the accent. You have the accent.
This is terrific. This is great. Okay, so this is our first one. GRUNER with, I don't know what you call that, tilde or with the 2 dots over it. I can't turn the bottle over on the side because the wine will spill out. In Veltliner, VELTLINER.
Yep.
Gruner Veltliner.
And that's the name
Excellent.
of the grape. A lot of people call it groovy for short.
Groovy.
GRU and VE.
I
Groovy.
like that, groovy. I like
So
this.
groovy is so much easier to
This
remember.
is interesting. You should, let's tell people about. I forgot about this. More and more wineries are doing this.
Yeah, that's
There's buttons, little dots that you feel raised. You're familiar with what that is?
that's Braille encoded.
Braille encoded, right? So you could refill the bottle.
So even blind people can find a nice dry
There you
white
go.
wine.
Put this back here. Great. Okay, let's go to the Falangina. Falangina.
Falangina.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Let me just pour that here for you, my friend. You're enjoying yourself, which is good.
Hey, well, this is a great wine from Campania, down south in Italy. Falangina is the name of the grape.
Get a close-up of this.
It looks like a dark bottle, so everybody might think that it's a red wine, but it really is a white wine with dark glass to protect the quality of the wine. And this is another floral, light, easy drinking wine alternative to Pinot Grigio.
I think this wine probably has a little bit more body than the
It does.
Gruner Veltliner.
Yeah,
So
further
big,
south
bigger wine.
it has
Thank
a little
you.
bit more roundness.
Further south, more sun, more heat,
Yep.
right?
If you're down on the Amalfi Coast and
Ooh,
you're
I love
enjoying
being
the beautiful
there.
views in Positano and the fresh
You're
seafood,
killing me.
and you're drinking Falangina.
I'm looking at the volcanic speech.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
That's wonderful. And again, smelling this wine reminds me of being there. That's another common thing
Oh.
about wine.
you can't tell me that there's no oak in this wine.
There isn't.
You
Stainless
can't.
steel.
I mean, where am I getting all that vanilla from?
It's creamy. It's a creamy texture.
Malolactic fermentation? Where are we getting all this creaminess?
They may
And
have
I'm
done
also-
something like that, but I don't
there-
believe so.
There is an unbelievable flavor. You see, these grapes are totally different than what you normally drink. You know, the Big 7, Big 8, they just load the shelves.
Absolutely.
But this thing comes in there. This is fantastic. People should know about these alternative grapes that in their regions, the king.
And if somebody wants a creamy Chardonnay, they should try a creamy Falangina. And I think they would really enjoy this. It's got mouth-watering acidity that just begs for food, seafood.
Oh, man. Outstanding.
Nice.
Outstanding. A good example of a great wine. Irpinia. Just fantastic. Yeah, we put that one back.
Okay.
Just
we'll-
fantastic.
Now we're going to get on a plane and we're going to Spain.
Okay. This is a very interesting wine.
This is a wine called Naya, and it's from the region of Rueda in Spain. And the grape is Verdeo. And it's another just white wine that's got a lot of appeal. It's a very easy drinker, crisp, clean, it's got some good citrus. Well, you'll see. Dr. Passes will tell us what he smells.
Thank you.
The doctor.
The doctor is in. Let's see. What have we got here? Oh, orange?
You get some orange peel?
I'm getting some kind of like not a citrus, but almost like an orange peel.
That might be good with a shrimp cocktail. Shellfish.
This is fantastic also. And there is an undertone of dry orange peel that I'm getting in this with good acidity. Very good acidity. This is marvelous. A great taste. Excellent. I served this to a bunch of winemakers, and they were blown away by it.
Where are they?
They were blown away by it because they hadn't had it and didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And they tasted this and went, wow, This is incredible. Once a year, I have a winemaker's barbecue. From a lot of the winemakers from Long Island attend, and I always said, as I've mentioned previously, that I always serve varietals that they've never had, and they're always so, wow, what's this? What's this? This is incredible. This is great, you know, as opposed to the basics. This is terrific, and this is from Spain. The wines of Spain are just terrific.
They're flying off the shelves.
I believe you.
They're flying off the wine lists. People are boarding more and more Spanish wine every day.
Interesting. They say grapefruit, lime, and kiwi. And I put all that together, and it turned into orange.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Very, very. I like Verdejo.
It's a nice exotic wine. If people like exotic Sauvignon Blancs and they want to try something a little bit different, this might be a good parallel for them to get into something different.
Right. Great seafood wine. Terrific. You could have this with a nice creamed shrimp dish, or any kind of sole, or with anything, with salmon. Be terrific. It's an excellent, excellent selection. That's terrific.
Good. Glad you like it.
And yes, you do get that grapefruit. Like the orange, grapefruit, and lime. Very, very, very nice.
All right, next we're going to Germany. And we're going to do some Riesling.
Let's talk about Riesling. Riesling is a very famous grape.
It's a very versatile white grape. It can be dry, it can be sweet. This one is dry. It's got the word Trocken on the label.
Explain that.
Well, if it has the word Trocken on the label, it means it's a dry Riesling. Most people think Riesling is for dessert wine, for really sweet and honeyed and very long aftertaste, and they can be.
Which it can be.
They can be. But the best Rieslings in the world, in my opinion, are dry ones, because they can really go with anything. They can stand up to a pork roast. They can stand up to a lot of foods that you wouldn't think they could stand up to. But they're, again, just dry, crisp. You get a little slatiness in it.
I was about to say that's the one thing. There's a mineral quality and a slatiness quality to Rieslings that people, when they get into the wine, have to appreciate and see what they're coming up against.
Yeah. And Riesling's a great parallel for people that drink other wines. This is just nice and clean, and this is a Trocken. A lot of Rieslings can be sweet, and I've switched a lot of people upgraded a lot of people from White Zinn to Riesling, because Rieslings seem to be a lot more interesting.
Oh, you can't even compare the two. I mean, come on. I mean, this Riesling is far superior to a White Zinfandel, in my opinion. The White Zinfandel, scratch that, the Riesling would do really well, does really well, to me, with spiced foods. Asian cuisine especially. I love Asian cuisine with either this or a Gewürztraminer. I just love them. I think they complement all the intense spices. Or if you're having food from like Alsace-Lorraine, or you're having very tasty charcuterie.
Right.
I mean, all those meats, they're spiced. They need this. It adds a refreshing component.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. And what percentage alcohol is this? Usually 13%. So the drier ones obviously have more alcohol.
Yes.
And the sweeter ones will, put this back, will have less alcohol, but great flavor. Like we discussed about that wonderful Spätlese. Spätlese.
Spätlese. It's okay. However you pronunciate, as long as you buy it.
As long as you buy it. That is terrific. This is terrific. So that's great. So now we've gone through 4 white wines. One is a Grüne Veltliner from Austria. The next one is the Falangina from Irpinia, Italy. The next is the Verdejo from Rueda, Spain. And the last is the Riesling from the Rheingau in Germany. Rudolsheimer Bischofsberg, which was just terrific in its lights.
Joseph Leitz, yes.
Which is
a great young winemaker making phenomenal wines.
Just terrific, no question about it. So let's change our glasses now, and now we're going to kind of mosey on down to some red wine. And our first one is Bonarda, is the grape, from Mendoza, Argentina.
Yes.
Okay, talk a little bit about this. Look at deep color. Wow.
Yeah, nice rich color. Bonarda is a grape that's typically blended in Argentina into Malbecs to make stronger, richer more intense wines, but it kind of gives it a fresher, lighter taste. And this is a nice, fresh, light, easy drinking Bonarda for a song that you can pick up for a song.
You're right about
And
that.
it's wonderful, wonderful stuff.
This is
It's a
very
nice alternative to Cote d'Aron, or just nice, light, everyday drinking wine. You're not
nice
afraid to
nose.
open another bottle of this at night.
right. This certainly will not break the bank.
No.
Oh God, am I getting raspberries in here? I'm getting raspberry. Oh, wonderful! Great nose.
Some vanilla in there. I think they use French oak, and that's usually what gives vanilla taste to a wine.
Wow. Oh, mouth filling. Explosion of berries. Explosion of very ripe berries. Intense fruit. Oh, this needs a good meat. You need something very hearty with this.
Lamb would be a good
Lamb, absolutely. A good roast lamb, leg of lamb. Oh, and it's interesting. I'm getting a rustic back in the throat. I'm getting also a little bit of, licorice? Or I'm getting licorice or maybe even a little lead pencil that's there. There's a lot of complexity to this.
Yeah, a lot of complexity. For a
Very
wine at that
nice
price point.
wine, absolutely. See, that's the beauty. The Argentinians, because their great grapes were all destroyed when they had the junta, and everything was taken over, and they just produced dreg wine, the bottom of the list, the terrible wines, and they dug up all the great stuff. And now that the country is not like that anymore, they're starting to go back to making good, high-quality wines.
Absolutely.
And Argentina produces fabulous wines.
Fabulous. They're the next country to explode on the wine map, I believe.
It's amazing.
Spain is exploding now, and I think Argentina is next.
I love this. This is great.
Great
this
wine,
is great.
great value. Very compelling.
Great. Just terrific. Absolutely terrific. Now we're coming to one of my favorite grapes. This is a grape that, again, when you mention it to most people, they go, huh? And it's called the what grape?
Aglianico.
Aglianico with a silent G.
Yes.
Let's get a close-up of this so you can see the spelling. English, it would look like Aglianico.
Yes.
Aglianico.
Many people pronounce it as that, and that's
I
fine.
want a good Aglianico. Aglianico.
My book, that's fine.
From
Just
Campania.
buy the wine, drink it,
That's right. Enjoy it.
enjoy it. Try something new. These
Try
are all
something
nice,
new.
Nice new wines to learn.
I love this with Italian food. You see, the Italian food it's got such intense flavors at times, especially if you're playing with red sauces,
Absolutely.
which Southern Italy will
Absolutely.
do. And this is has also been a Southern Italy wine. This one comes from Campania, but Basilicata also is known for this, where it's really dry and hot.
Yes. Wonderful wine. Very rustic, dry.
Oh, I love that.
It's got like a Barolo-esque to it, but it's from the middle of the country and it's half the price. So that's a wonderful thing for people that may like Barolo, but want to get something for a song that's ready to go tonight rather than having to wait 5 years.
Nice peppers in there. There's a white pepper, which was a surprise because I haven't had white pepper in Aglianico before.
No? Okay.
What year is this? 06, no less. Okay,
Brand new wine.
you could let this wine sit.
You
let
could,
this wine
absolutely.
sit. You know,
Yep.
it's drinkable tonight, and you could let that sit. You know, you could have this with a good old veal parmesan, and just enjoy yourself with this.
Yep.
It's terrific. So now we're experiencing wonderful whites that are good alternatives, and now we're gravitating towards reds that most people would not be familiar with.
That's right.
Those people that are watching now and they go, "Yeah, I'm familiar with those." I applaud you. I think that's great because you break out of the box.
Absolutely.
And one thing that I enjoy, and that you said when I asked you how did you get into it, and you said something similar to what I did years ago, and I got a couple of years on you. And what I did years ago is I've always enjoyed wine, but I want to learn. And a good friend of mine, he was a great chef, and he loved wine. So he and I used to travel the world without ever having left Nassau County. And what we would do is we would go to a wine shop, and we would say, we're going to be visiting the Rhone Valley in France. So what we would do is select a couple of mixed cases of Rhone wines, take them home, and then 2 to 3 times a week we would prepare food from the Rhone Valley. We'd have recipes, and we would just cook them, open the wines up, and taste them. And the rules were, you can only talk about Rhone.
Okay.
And we would read and we would learn. We'd do that for a month, and then we'd move on to another region.
That's
Go to
a
the
lot of
wine
fun.
shop,
Great.
and then we'd pick, let's say Rueda or something like another region. And we would taste the wines, and you learn. Before long, all of a sudden, you got knowledge. And the food and the wine, and you did something similar.
Yeah. Well, my greatest way to learn about wine was just go to a wine store and ask them to put 12 different bottles together that I've never had, and
Right.
go home and try them. And go to a few different stores and try a few different people's interpretation
Right.
of what they think I should be drinking based
Right.
on a few, wines that I tell them I do drink now.
See, what's good about what you do is that when people ask you questions, you get to know their palate. Because everybody's palate is different.
Absolutely.
Somebody might not like a wine like this Aglianico, for example. They
true.
might want a softer, more subtle Merlot.
Absolutely.
And if you say, you're not going to like this. You're going to like this because it's more like what you're used to drinking.
Right.
And that's the important thing about knowing someone who's a wine consultant who gets to know your palate.
Absolutely.
That's
That's
the strength.
invaluable.
That's invaluable.
Invaluable.
That's the strength of the service that you would provide. Great wine.
Great little
Great
wine.
wine.
Yeah.
Great wine. I hate to
Good
pour
little
this.
Ah.
Great wine. There's a little bit of mint almost like in that.
Yeah.
A very mild herbal quality. Very mild.
But that would go good with food.
Oh.
Like say you had some lamb and you stuck some rosemary through the middle of the lamb and cooked it on the grill, and then that wine,
Boom.
home run.
Home run.
Home run.
Absolutely.
You'd need a case though.
Okay, our next one is a grape that I happen to like a lot. And it's got 2 names that we use. If it's in Spain, the name is called,
Monastrell,
okay, and if it's in France,
Mourvedre.
okay, I would pronounce Mourvèdre. Mourvèdre? Mourvèdre. Anyway, Mourvèdre.
You buy, you call it what you want.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So you call this name of this wine is Juan Gil, which comes from what area in Spain?
Jumelia.
Jumilla.
Which is a up and coming red wine region. Some wonderful, wonderful wines.
Pour this first.
World class wines for a song.
Love the Spanish wines.
Yes. They're rich, they're intense, they're velvety,
Let's see if we can get
and
this.
they're fantastic wine values on the market.
And they're different.
Yes,
And they're
very
different.
Yep. And they're worthy of including on your list if you're in a restaurant or if you're just sitting at home and you're drinking Cabernet, you'd like this one.
Watching the show right now.
Cabernet and this, you would love it.
I agree with you. Well, let's get to this one. Great color. Beautiful, deep purple, deep crimson. Oh, smell that. That's wonderful. Oh, I'm getting figs. Did I just get figs in there? And I can aftertaste.
I get ripe blueberries, blueberry pie. Very rich. Mouthful of flavor.
Oh my God. Home run. Home run. Oh wow. Forget your Cabernet. Forget your Cabernet when you have something like this. This is an outstanding bottle of wine. An amazing bottle of wine. This you can have with anything except a Dover sole or or just a plain old shrimp, because this has got body, mouth filling, intense New World fruit.
New World fruit. Yep.
New World fruit comes right out at you and grabs you,
Yep.
brings you right into the glass.
Yep.
And an outstanding bottle of wine. And what year is this?
That's an
05.
Yep.
You could put this away. You could drink this tonight, or you could put this away for another 3-4 years.
Easily.
Yep.
Wonderful wine.
Fantastic.
Another fantastic example of a value wine from Spain.
Just amazing. I'm getting figs in here. I'm getting not dried figs. I'm getting ripe figs as well.
Okay.
I'm not
I
getting
get
the
a lot of
blueberries.
ripe flavors.
Ripe flavors, yeah, just outstanding. Just outstanding. The Spanish wines are just terrific. They used to be so inexpensive because nobody knew about them. You know, I would go to Spain and I would see a bottle of wine that in Spain was like only a couple of dollars, and here it was a fortune.
Right.
Because the dollar was so strong at that point.
Yeah.
But it just...
And they've also had a lot of new business going over there, new people going over and creating wines. A lot of Australian winemakers have gone to Spain and made real rich, intense wines.
See, that's what's happening in the world. That's what's happening in the world, is that everybody's moving all over the place. Now, we got our last wine of the show, and this is Terrazas of the Andes from Malbec Reserva. So this is the grape. Let's see if we can get a shot of this. This is the Malbec grape. Now, Malbec was originally a blending grape in Bordeaux. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
In France?
Yeah, it's one of the 5 original varietals in Bordeaux. Used to give the wine a little bit of oomph and a little bit of spice.
Good structure, backbone, and color.
Exactly.
But interesting how in Argentina, this wine grows a little differently, and it comes out on its own. And this wine you could have with steak in it. Let me taste it before I give you my generic response. Look at the legs on that thing. This thing is very thick.
This is a monstrous wine without the monstrous price tag.
You got me sold. Oh, you got me sold. 14% also. Amazing, amazing. Great. Now, again, these last wines here are fantastic for meat, for us carnivores.
Absolutely.
Or heavy-duty seafood, like if you want to have a really terrific swordfish, oreganata, you know, or fra diavolo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, these will stand up to anything you put in front of them.
They're great wines.
And these
very
wines,
versatile.
These wines are versatile. They're delicious, and they're certainly by no means, in my opinion, second place to any of the big reds that we know. You know, your Cabs and you know your Merlots and your Pinot Noirs and all those famous grapes. These, I think, in some circumstances, these even outshine those wines. I think it's just fantastic. You know, we're just about out of time. It's amazing. Isn't it amazing how fast it goes?
Flies, yes.
Amazing. It's just incredible. Before we do that, I want to give a thank you to my friend Nick Poulos from Pop's Wines and Spirits in Island Park for graciously supplying us with these wines for today's tasting. And I want to thank you very much. How'd you like to do some more shows in the future on different ways of looking at the grapes, the vines, the wines, and all that stuff?
Absolutely.
Terrific. Maybe we could do some blind tastings.
Ah, that would be fun.
That would be a lot of fun. This way we don't know what well, you'll know. Unless we can work, unless I have Nick pick out the wines.
Yes, we'll have to have somebody else pick out the wines.
Have someone else,
yes.
have Victor do it.
Yes.
This way we don't know what the heck we're getting. Brown bag them. We can taste them and talk about them, and then rate them, and then not give prices, but kind of give a range of where we think it would be.
Right.
That would be a lot of fun.
And unveil them.
Unveil them. Absolutely. That's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Wine is great. It's constantly changing, and it's always enjoyable. It's terrific. Ted Clark, wine consultant extraordinaire.
Thank you, Dr. Passes.
Thank you very much. It's great spending time with you like this.
Always a pleasure.
Popping the cork or cracking the opener, so to speak, the screw cap, but it was just great. Just terrific. So I thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you again. And I look forward to seeing you again. I hope you enjoyed, and you got a chance to see that there are other wines in the world, other grapes, than just the wines that we have all been drinking. It's a lot of fun. We'll bring more to you in the future. So until next time, Dr. Pass is saying, just like Ted Clark, whatever you do it with passion. Otherwise, olvídalo. Forget it.